to Disney Movies with the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David.
And this week, it's Larry Bird if he was a dog. But really, it's Air Bud from 1997.
Yes, it is.
A dog who needed a home. A boy who needed a friend.
Hey, boy. Good boy.
And the game that brought them together.
You like basketball?
I'm kind of really curious about your initial thoughts of this movie, but also I know that it's either going to go one of two ways, so I don't know.
I don't know what you're going to go as.
I
know what I'm going to go as.
Well, obviously. I would hope so.
But I mean, usually I can figure out what you're going to do, and I can't this time.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, go ahead. I actually want you to go first this time.
So, I was fully ready to really rip this movie apart as equally as bad as G-Force or Country Bears or any of that stuff. It actually wasn't that bad.
Okay, so we're going in the same direction then, because I actually really enjoyed this movie.
You really enjoyed it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a fairly good movie. That's what I'll say.
You know what it was though? So the difference between 90s and earlier live action Disney movies and the ones today have no heart and charm, and this actually had that.
This has tons of heart. This movie is not what the commercials say that it is.
No, and I remember now why I didn't want to watch this movie again. There's some very upsetting scenes in this movie.
Oh yeah, this movie is dark. Real dark.
I don't know if you caught it. I was definitely crying at one part. I
was, but only at the end.
Wait, you were crying?
Well, not crying, but it got dusty.
Wow.
I was just happy. I like this movie. It's a good movie.
I'm actually really surprised. I thought you weren't. I thought, I don't know what I thought. We were both, oh, this movie's going to be terrible. Oh,
yeah, neither one of us wanted to watch this at all. God, I cannot believe I have to watch this movie. But really, this is a movie about a dog.
Wait,
and so you can't not like that. At a certain point, this is a movie about a freaking dog.
Well,
this is a dog lover's movie with a little bit of corny wackadoodle basketball in it.
Well, and the thing is, the basketball part was actually done pretty well.
It really was, and it was set up well all the way through the movie from soup to nuts.
And it wasn't really, it was a little cheesy in parts of it, but that almost wasn't, him playing basketball almost wasn't the main focus of the movie.
That's what I'm saying. The basketball was kind of secondary to the dog and boy story. Even if it was a bad execution or a bad whatever, a dog and boy story is not going to be that bad.
No, it's kind of classic, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just very confused because I kept wanting to not like the movie. But...
Oh, yeah. The whole time, for the first 45 minutes, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I'm not going to like this movie. Blah, blah, blah. But it totally...
Even though you probably did like the first 45 minutes.
Right, I did. And it won me over. I was trying to find things wrong with it rather than watch the movie.
Yeah, which is not fair to the movie. We really need to go into all these movies with an open mind because, well, from what we learned...
It's not possible, though. You can't... You're always going to have your biases and your, oh my god, I can't believe... whatever, but you do have to be at least open enough to change your mind, which I totally was and totally did.
Yeah. So let me read the really short synopsis because, for everybody out there, this movie is not on Disney Plus. We had to rent it on Amazon.
Which I lost a huge bet on because I thought, I stated 100% this movie is definitely on Disney Plus. Guess what? It's not.
Yeah. Okay. Air Bud. Comedy, drama, family. An unexpected player joins the school basketball team, a circus dog who escaped from a cruel master. That's the synopsis on Amazon.
It's very to the point.
Yes. So what's really interesting is the director, Charles Martin Smith, used to be an actor.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's pretty normal. You go from acting to directing. It's like the Ron Howard path.
Oh, okay. But I don't really know anything that he was in.
Yeah, and he directed Dolphin Tale, which I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's a newer live action family movie.
Yeah, not into it.
By some other studio.
So, and then so for the actors, the main character, Kevin Zegers,
Mm-hmm.
he seems to really like to be in zombie stuff nowadays, but he just kept acting in small parts throughout the rest of his life.
So he had a reoccurring role on Gossip Girl, I'm just gonna say.
No, he's another one of those. Okay.
Well, he played a bad influence drug dealer rich kid, but whatever.
Wow.
But no, he did a lot of movies, and actually the kid who played Larry, the super annoying
The
kid,
douche kid, yeah.
he went on to act, and from like 2010 to essentially 2016, he was in a ton of indie movies.
Oh, okay.
Like a ton of indie movies. So that was really interesting. And then I couldn't figure out where I'd seen the mom before.
Oh, she's just the ultimate 90s MILF.
Well, right, but she's also in all the Sister Act movies, and
Yeah.
as soon as I saw that, which I've only seen the first Sister Act, I think, once, and that was where I've seen
See,
her
I was also perplexed as I was like, God, this lady looks familiar. She looks like kind of more of a kind of hotter Sherry O'Terry.
Yeah.
But no, it was from Sister.
And it's Wendy McKenna is her name.
Yeah. And she did a really good job, actually, with just her facial expressions.
Go, Josh!
No, but there were a lot of shots of her just making a facial expression.
Yeah.
That actually worked really well. I was surprised to go, well, that actually kind of just works.
Well, and she was a good, she did a good job.
Yeah.
But actually, the Bill Cobb's guy who played the coach.
Oh, he saved the movie.
He was so good, but he's also a character actor. He's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah. He's in a million different movies and TV shows. It's like, oh my god, yeah. Oh, I recognize this guy. Oh yeah, because he's in everything.
Well, and I was, oh, that thing you do, which coincident, I have actually never watched that movie.
What?
No, I've never watched it.
Kelly, you would love that
I
movie.
know that I would.
No. I don't think you understand. I think that just knowing you the way I do, I mean, obviously I'm your husband, I know you extremely well, you would fall head over heels in love with that movie.
Well, maybe we should watch it.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
But I keep seeing, like, I've seen things about that movie, and I know, Tom Hanks is in it, and this guy, and whatever, and I'm thinking, why have I not seen this movie? I've never seen it.
Yeah, and all the music in it, I mean, no, that's crazy.
Well, and the villain guy, he's another character actor. He's in a ton of stuff.
Which one? The clown, Mike Jeter?
Yeah, Michael Jeter. He's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, he is a great character actor. I thought that Larry's dad looked super familiar as a villain, but he looks like another guy that's not that guy, but he was a really good villain too.
This movie had a few villains. I mean, really, it had one villain, then it had filler villains, but clown Michael Jeter, I mean, he was the main villain.
Yeah, he was.
Come on, get up here. I warned you. You had your chance, you flea-bitten mongrel. You're going to the pound. You hear me? You're going to the pound.
Even though it had filler villains, it totally worked.
No, it did work, yeah.
I mean, because in the meantime, when Larry was the villain, or the douche coach was the villain, cool.
We'll get there, but
just how unexpected and how great that was.
Do you have anything else to add about the actors or anything?
No, and I couldn't find any fun facts or trivia, so I mean, you can go ahead and knock that one down.
I have two fun facts.
Okay.
Filming for this movie took less than 1 month.
Not a surprise.
And the second one, which is really sad, Buddy died 1 year after this movie was made of cancer.
That's not that sad, because I saw that the dog was found as a rescue in 1989. That's a long time for a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Golden retrievers are not long-living dogs in general, but some of them, yes, will live to 90, but...
And this movie makes golden retrievers seem so much more cool than they actually are.
Yeah, I mean, if you smell one, you know why not to get a golden retriever.
That's funny because...
Especially if you live where we live, which we'll also get into that.
Well, it's funny because last time when I mentioned, my friend, they had the puppies that went on to... So somebody bought their puppies and put them in one of these sequels, the Snow Buddies. Their dogs always smelled so bad.
Yeah, so that'll be my fun fact. We live in the Puget Sound area. This movie's supposed to take place in the Puget Sound area in a fake town.
And for those who don't know where the Puget Sound is, it's in
the Seattle area.
It's in the Seattle,
Yeah.
Pacific Northwest.
But this movie is clearly shot in Vancouver, BC.
Yeah.
And during many times when you're on the streets, you'll see a British Columbia license plates on the vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I didn't really get that this movie was supposed to take place in Washington.
Oh, I got it right away.
Until almost the end of the movie when...
See, you missed the thing at the very beginning. I was like, oh, this is supposed to be Washington. They gave it away with the clown truck. Had very clear Washington plates.
Oh, I didn't
We had our
catch
super
that.
cool plates.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
Probably why, because they were plates we don't have now, so I didn't recognize them.
Yeah, they were the cool
Wait,
ones.
are they the red, green, and white ones?
They were red, blue, and white, but
I don't remember.
yeah, they were when we had 6 digits. They're great plates. I really liked them.
So, should we get into the movie?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
jump in.
All right.
Moving so I can get into my notes.
Mm.
Okay, so we open up in Fernfield, which I think is supposed to be Ferndale, Washington.
Yeah.
Up there by the border with British Columbia, so it makes more sense. We get the clown car, the clown dog, and this guy's just nasty.
Yeah, he shows up for the kid's birthday party and the dog's crate meanwhile is in the back, not strapped down or anything. Just so clearly off the bat it establishes, oh, this guy's a real treasure.
Yeah, he's just a total animal abusing douchebag drunk clown. It's just awful. And this is my criticism of this movie, is that the beginning of this movie took way too long.
It did take a long time, especially, he goes in there to do his clown routine, and it's establishing that he's a failure. He can't do the basic clown things. Wow, Mom, you really shelled out for top-level clowns there.
Yeah.
But also, okay, parents out there, don't hire birthday clowns. They're creepy, and it's weird, and I don't like it.
I feel like that cannot be a thing now. I am pretty sure that the only thing clowns are for now is parades, because nobody likes clowns.
No, and if you do like clowns out there, please write in and tell us why, because they're creepy, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, everybody knows they're creepy. It's disgusting.
So
Then all of a sudden he brings out Bud for the clown part.
right.
He misses his shot of knocking the ball into his hooped arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a wackadoodle chaos, complete and total destruction of this house and party scene of the dog running around, everybody chasing it, and everything getting smashed, and drinks and food flying all over the place. I mean...
Well, and the clown, Norm, he just tackles the dog on top of the cake, and that's the last straw. Which I'm thinking, dude, what is wrong with you? And so he gets thrown out by the mom, of course, who has, by the way, the original Karen haircut, which is incredible.
Totally, yeah. She was the original Karen. I think we found her.
She's like, she's saying, I know I paid minimal for you, but I expected Barnum and Bailey level clown. What the I need some more Xanax.
I'm gonna talk to your manager.
The head clown.
Yeah.
So he's pissed. He's taking it out on the dog, even though it's not the dog's fault.
He's abusing the hell out of the dog. It's disgusting. I can't stand this entire part.
It's really uncomfortable because
he slams the dog into the crate and into the back of the truck. Doesn't even bother to put up the tailgate. We have this scene of him. Oh wait. Yeah. Okay, we have the scene of him calling the pound from his super early cell phone. That was a little weird.
It was a little strange.
That poor clown with his beat up pickup truck is not having a cell phone in 1997. That is just a little out there.
No.
So he's calling the pound. Obviously, through this very long scene, the dog is going to fall out of the truck. It does.
This part was, I really didn't like this part.
Yeah, I didn't either. I couldn't stand it, and it was way too long. Sitting in the crate in the middle of the road, a truck driver almost nails him. Why that dude didn't pull over and get that thing out of the road, I'll never know.
Also that was their moving truck. That same truck is outside their house later.
I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we meet, so this is another real bad point of the movie. What's the kid's name? I know his last name, but I don't know his name.
Josh.
Oh yeah, Josh. It was clear enough, but
It didn't. It was a little bit late, but basically they're driving down the road, and the mom hits the crate, which knocks it open.
Just barely.
Buddy gets out and makes eye contact with Josh. They have a moment, and then the mom just drives away.
Right, but the mom had such a lack of curiosity about, what did I hit? Is it still alive? What should we do? None of those things came to her mind. She was just, we out.
Well, she said, oh, what's that box doing in the middle of the road? And I think she thought it was just a box.
It was clearly a crate.
Right. Well, and you think you would look in your rearview mirror and you see a dog sitting there, you'd go, oh, maybe we should stop.
In a clown outfit.
You should stop, because if you see a stray dog that was, like, you just hit a crate, the dog's sitting there, clearly the dog was
covered in red, basically.
Yeah, like, you should turn around and make sure the dog is okay.
Yeah.
And so they're moving into the town. You know, mom has 2 kids, and right before they got in the house, I was thinking, I'm calling it, Dad's dead, because
of course.
They don't do a divorce in Disney movies, which is really weird because it's way more realistic than having a parent dead.
Right, but it's not Disney magic to have a divorce.
But it just doesn't make sense to me.
Right, yeah. So, and we find out right here, his dad is a dead test pilot.
Yeah.
In some tragic accident. The family's all upset, and they're moving to this town where she had grandparents or something.
Right.
It's a small town. And the thing that's weird about this is that they're clearly loaded. They have this beautiful house.
Right.
And if you saw the kitchen in one of the scenes,
I don't remember.
was the top of the line stove, and it was beautiful.
Well, and it's not clear exactly. I think she's a real estate agent, maybe.
No, it was clear. There was a scene where she was going to go to work for this napkin factory. It was the number 3 napkin maker in the country. And she was some kind of salesperson for the napkin factory.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she thinks she had 2 jobs, because at one point she was on the phone with her mom, and she said, oh, it's normal to have 2 jobs, Mom.
Right, but it was never clear what the second job was, and I think that was just a cutting mistake. When they were editing the movie, they just screwed that up.
Gotcha. And so then...
And this right here is a testament to how long and drawn out the beginning of this movie is, because we're talking way too much about it.
Right. Well, but you fast forward, and Buddy is out in the rain, out at some abandoned house, right?
Church,
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Buddy, and he's there.
And you see the kid is a sad loser. He wants to hoop it up, but he's just a sad loser.
Well, he used to play basketball with his dad, which they did establish earlier. But
they did, and that's fine. He's walking home from school. He finds this abandoned hoop at this same church that the dog is chilling at, and he for some reason in his backpack he has this brand new ball ready to hoop.
Well, I think it's the same ball that was in the picture with his dad, and so I think he just took it with them.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It was a little strange.
But why was it in his backpack for school? That's a huge item to throw in your backpack as a friggin' basketball.
I don't know.
So he finds that. He goes home. The kid's super depressed. Obviously, he should commit suicide at this point. Wrapped around a telephone pole, depressed.
Well, obviously. I mean, you lose your dad, you have to move to a new place. It's all bad.
Right. And then he goes to school, and they have this whole, look, the new kid, you new kid trope in every movie, which is just lame, but very expected in this movie. I couldn't expect anything. We get to the coach doing the basketball thing, and it's clear, this is a basketball school. They have a championship team.
Well, and the coach, right off the bat, is a douche.
Oh, yeah, he's just a mean, terrible dude.
All he's talking about is, we have to win. I only want winners. And, my star player, whatever.
Larry.
And in the background, there's the engineer who's later, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Arthur Carney or something like
Yeah.
that.
But so Josh just sits there and doesn't do the basketball tryouts. He literally just sits there, and when he's leaving,
because he's scared, because he's depressed.
Right.
This movie is actually the first part of this movie is actually a pretty good picture of depression. I was really impressed at how well they depicted actual depression in this movie, because it seemed pretty realistic.
Well, the coach sees him at the end and essentially voluntells him, you're going to be the manager, which basically means you're going to be the team.
Yeah. You're pumping up balls, you're washing jerseys, You're getting water, which they call him the Water Boy, which is weird because Water Boy came out a year after this.
Right.
Or 2, maybe. So then we go back to the church, and the kid has the genius idea. He hears the dog in there.
Well, he heard him the first time, too.
He did. And he decided to give him the best treat for man, dog, bear, raccoon, bird, pudding. Like, if you want to lure any animal in, pudding is probably
well, and that dog,
top choice.
You know, is probably starving. He hasn't eaten for several days.
But pudding is amazing.
Yeah, well, it is amazing. And so he sticks that out. The dog comes out, and doesn't he play with the dog a little bit?
No, he doesn't get to play at all. The dog licks up the pudding. The kid approaches. Dog gets scared, runs back into his sticker bush hollow.
Right.
And then we cut back to where we find their amazing kitchen, especially for the 90s.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I know. But I do because I saw it.
Apparently I had my eyes closed.
It was some dumb scene not worth talking about.
Right.
Then the kid does yard work for his private hoops on the ocean.
Oh, yeah, he goes back to, that's what it is. He goes back to the court.
Yeah.
But yes, he pushes down some fence, and he
knocks off the fence. And you know what was really weird about that for me is that when I was his age, I lived basically in a place exactly like that. If I walked less than a block, like 500 feet from my house, I had a view almost exactly like that, but without mountains, with the town across the other side of the water. And it was beautiful, but I lived in a poor neighborhood, and I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of get that. It made some sense to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was very, very northwest, for sure.
I was like, yeah, all right. Yeah, that actually could happen.
So for us, we got it.
But not now. This is a pre-2005 thing. Nowadays, that would never happen.
The abandoned church?
On that kind of piece of property, yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, some investor owns that thing and would shoot you, or has built an 18-story townhouse on it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and he put out essentially like a trail of essentially like 20 puddings.
Yeah, man, pudding is good, but he's going to give that dog diabetes.
Yeah, and the dog comes out, so he's able to kind of befriend the dog. They have a moment where they're playing, everything's cool.
Well, he really got him with the basketball. The dog wanted to play ball.
Right.
He got his first pets in, and so he takes the dog home, sneaks him in, takes his muddy shoes off, carries this gigantic, probably like 75-pound dog in.
Yeah, not realistic.
Well, realistic enough because it looked like he was having a hard time to give the dog a bath. He had a hard time doing that. This is the only song in this movie is the stupid Splish Splash I Was Taking a Bath song.
Splish Splash I was taking a bath long about a Saturday night. Yeah, rubbed up, just relaxing in the tub.
So he gives him a bath, blah, 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 blah.
And all I'm thinking about is, oh my god, what a mess.
What a stinky mess.
Yeah.
It's a golden retriever. He's running out of time before his mom comes home. So he decides to dry him off with a leaf blower, which is just, it would hurt the dog. And
how would it hurt the dog?
The leaf blower's strong.
Well, yeah, the dog's jowl flaps are falling back.
And it would make like this disgusting smelling mist in his bedroom that would be just foul.
Yeah.
He goes downstairs trying to charm his mom. His mom's all suspicious. The dog runs after the ball downstairs and creates wackadoodle scene number 3 with paint.
Well, and it's paint, and the worst part of it is she's getting wallpaper put in the house, and he knocks over the can of the wallpaper paint on top, which wasn't sealed, apparently. Good job, dudes, doing that.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was her doing it, but okay.
No, because earlier in the movie, she was on the phone with somebody, and she said, what time are they coming to install the wallpaper? She said, I thought you guys were putting up wallpaper today.
Gotcha.
So, and that whole setup was not very safe. There was just stuff everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it ends with the money shot on the mom, which is hilarious.
Well, yes, because the glue gets all over the dog, and then he... What?
Yeah. The money shot on the mom.
Yes, I got you. I got you. Oh, my God. And
That's what it is.
Well, the dog shakes and it gets on everybody, not just the mom.
Yeah, but
of course the kid is saying, "Oh, can we keep him, please?" And
this is the worst part of the movie.
Kind of. So here's the thing. I understand kind of where she's coming from because literally you don't know this dog. It could be crazy. It could.
Not at all. I mean, this is the first time her dumb kid has not basically looked like he was going to kill himself in 5 minutes.
Well, and what she should have said, which maybe is what she was thinking in the back of her mind when she said, "Okay, we can keep him until Christmas." Maybe she should have said, "I can't promise you that he can stay forever, but let's try it out for a little bit."
Right, but this was where she came off the worst, and it was, are you kidding me? You just saw that your dumb kid, who yesterday was going to go in the garage and literally hang himself, all happy and ready to party.
Well,
and you're going to be like, no.
Well, and there's scenes of he comes home, "Oh, hi, buddy." He's so happy.
After this, yeah.
And she's watching this happen and saying, "Oh, like just look at how happy he is." It's crazy.
Well, that's afterwards, though. This is right here where right away it's obvious your suicidal kid is going to make it if he has this dog.
Well, and first day that Buddy stays over is the beginning of the running gag where every morning when Buddy hears the paper, he goes and takes the paper.
Yeah, so that he can't get hit with it, which we find out later.
Right, and which was actually pretty clever.
Yeah, it was. I did not know where that was going.
But I didn't either. I thought he was just taking the paper, but he takes it, and so she can't figure out why there's no paper, and it's a running thing throughout the entire movie.
Running gag.
Oh yeah, because it's then don't we go back to basketball after this?
Yeah, we go back to basketball. There's a ton of basketball practices that I completely glossed over.
The only thing I wrote is, "Ew, why is he so sweaty?" And then
the kids were extra sweaty, which was gross.
Yeah, and he's getting beaten up. It's all bad.
It's just an extra Larry is a douche scene.
Yeah.
But really, the important part here is where he goes into the engineer's office. He's sneaking around. He sees the dude's old Knicks jersey.
Is that this part?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He puts two and two together. That guy's that guy. He was a pro player. He tries to get the guy to sign his own basketball card. That guy's like, "No, I got it, dude.
Well,
I'm not that guy."
Is Walter Chaney a real player? Or Arthur Chaney a real player?
Probably not.
I take it no.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, 50s basketball. I'm not an expert at all.
And then don't we go to Christmas?
Yeah, because the mom re-gifts the dog to the kid for Christmas.
That part was actually really cute because he wakes up, Buddy's not there, he's freaking out, he goes downstairs, and she's like, "Happy Christmas, blah, blah, blah." And I actually got a little misty-eyed at that part. It was so cute.
Yeah, I can see it. So then there's, all of a sudden they lost two people for the basketball team. There's tryouts.
Right.
And the stupid douche Larry guy, like, intimidating him, like, "What, boy, you gonna try it? You can't do it. Ooh." And it's just like,
God, and they really picked the perfect little kid for this.
Oh, they did.
He looks like the perfect 90s douchey bully kid.
Yeah, he does. For sure. This guy is like I'm good looking and a douche.
He's not good looking though.
He's not, but he's 90s girl good looking.
But he's got those lips that are like real pink, but his face is real like not pink.
No. I know what you're saying, but I also know what I'm saying.
And then because the tryout, he goes to the tryout, and immediately the coach, he's such a dick. He's, "Oh, you're gonna try out," and I'm just like, what the hell? And the kid's like better than everybody there.
Yeah, he's easily the best non-player. And it's like, wait, you've never even seen this kid try. What do you mean you don't want him to? What's wrong with you?
Right, and then it goes, I don't know if I missed something in here, but it goes to the game, because he makes the team, right?
No. This is where it goes back to the church, where the dog starts draining buckets.
Oh, a dog basketball montage, that's right.
Yeah.
Because he figures out the dog can play basketball.
Then it goes to the gross orange peel scene with Stewart and his gross 90s haircut.
His name is Tom.
But he's Tom Stewart.
Well, yeah, but
they mostly call him Stewart.
nice bowl cut top.
Yeah, it's
He
bad.
has
It's
the
real
worst
bad.
bowl cut I've ever seen in my
And then
life.
we have the embarrassing mom trope, which I'm calling a trope, but it's not a trope because it is a 100% truth about moms.
Probably gonna be me.
Yeah, it's gonna be any mom. That's what I'm saying. Your mom's gonna embarrass the hell out of you while you're trying to get your game face on.
She's so embarrassing. She's literally saying, "Yay, Josh!" in that voice.
That's what I'm saying. It's terrible.
Well, and meanwhile, Buddy is super confused because he's been climbing up on the roof this whole time.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot about the whole roof access thing.
Well,
which is hilarious because they actually got the dog to do it. They got the dog to climb that lattice.
Yeah.
And get on the roof, which is funny, but also that's one hell of a dog.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He is.
And so he's trying to get up, and the window's closed. So then he just knows to run all the way to the school somehow.
Well, the dog had been at the school a couple times. When the kid looked at the tryout paper and celebrated,
oh, you're right.
The dog had been there, so that's the next place the dog went is where he finds the kid.
Right, and
but somehow they never have away games for their basketball team.
No, or they just don't show them,
which is hilarious. But whatever.
So
they're playing this long basketball montage
right.
as Bud is making his way in.
Right.
Which he does. He makes his way into the game, essentially, and chaos ensues again. But every time Bud shows up somewhere for the first time, he has to ruin and wreck everything, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he's going all over the place.
It's like the end of Disney Wackadoodle. I feel like this movie's probably the last truly Wackadoodle scenes movie.
Right. Without being... So it's interesting because I wanted to say without being over the top, but it's essentially different than in College Road Trip, the pig wedding scene. It's not the same thing.
Right. That's so far over the top that you're just like cringing. This is Wackadoodle where you're just so stupid.
Well, everyone's trying to chase the dog. The one ref just sits down and puts a towel over his head.
I really like that. Knocking over all the Gatorade, and the crowd's like, ah. But somehow, I think Josh throws a ball up in the air at the very end, and Air Bud knocks down a bucket, and the crowd is just like, "Whoa!"
Well, I mean, if you watched that and you'd never seen this movie, but if you'd never seen a dog do that, you would be kind of,
wouldn't you just think that it was an accident if it was the first time? You'd be like, wait, what? That was really coincidental. That's crazy.
Well, and then it's the end of the game, and his mom is talking to him and saying, "Did you know he could do that? Did you know he could play basketball?"
Right, which is crazy. So, and then after this, there's the Minnesota mom, and then the hot chick who automatically gets to Josh. He's like, "Oh, I got a hot chick,
Melissa."
Yeah, I didn't catch her name, but that's good.
Okay.
And then
I can't.
Comes one of the best and worst parts of this movie. Air Bud hears the balls going in the gym and runs up. Josh follows, and everybody follows. And you get to this horrific scene of the coach blasting basketballs at poor Stewart.
I'm never going to drop another ball again, Stewart. You can do that. Just meet the ball. Catch the ball.
Damn, that's f***ed up. It was
bad.
It was really upsetting.
Well, I gotta say, in the 90s, there were a lot of movies about child abuse. A lot.
Correct, sir.
And this, to me, totally fit in. It was the era of, hey, don't abuse your kids. I mean, really.
Yeah, it was that, and it was a very short scene, but it was...
It was not short enough. It was bad. That was bad.
It was really upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, that was... As an adult, could you imagine doing that to some kid?
No, because apparently Tom... Stewart, he just kept dropping the ball during the game, apparently. So the coach's solution was to just keep tossing ball.
Tossing, throwing them at his head.
Pommeling at him, and he can't catch him, and he's sweating.
He's not even really just throwing them. I mean, he's throwing them.
And screaming at him.
Full speed, overhand, at his head, like at his dome piece. You can't catch that. You can't, like, the kid's just getting bludgeoned.
Well,
basketballs.
And the Booster Club lady, she steps in, and I think she might be the principal.
Yeah, she was the principal. She's Principal Pepper.
Yeah, and she's like, "F you, this is
get out.
This is enough. You're done." So they have to find a new coach.
Yeah, they don't actually show them firing them, which I really wish they would have. But yeah, the abusive coach, he's fired. He's gone. This is a very good but very interesting scene of Josh jumping in with Principal Pepper and being like, would it be weird if I made a suggestion? And of course, he suggests the engineer.
Because
they hire him. And he comes in and he starts teaching them about passing and teamwork. And he's just the best dude of all time. It's great.
And it's highlighting Larry being a dick, of course. And...
Right, of course. Like, oh, I don't want to do this. Let's get real ball. Aim the start.
Yeah, and he's teaching him about that, and then it goes to another game, right?
Right, and we get to halftime, and Air Bud in his little air shoes. He's got little shoes on. He doesn't want to do it. He's not a performer, but as soon as Josh turns it into a game, into play,
well,
he's about it.
I didn't think about this at the time, but he probably is having essentially abuse trauma because he had.
No, he was. That was the whole point. As soon as Josh stopped making it be like, hey, you have to do this, and just relax and turn it into a game for Bud. Bud was game, and he was willing to knock down the shot, and he does. And everybody's like, oh, happy. There's a scene with Larry being a total ball hog. The coach, okay, I'm taking you out of the game.
Which is what you should do.
Right. And Larry's dad loses it on the coach.
Ugh.
And takes Larry out of the game.
We're leaving. Yeah. Nice job, Dad.
Right. And at this point, this guy is the biggest bitch of all time. The kid gets benched in the middle of the game, and your reaction is to leave, take your ball, and go home. Are you kidding me?
Well, but there are people like that. That's the worst part, is that this is a lot of...
I know.
A lot of the stage parents, that's their mentality.
I just can't wait, because I will be the best sports dad of all time. I will not do anything like that. I will let them go on their journey and just watch them. I have no interest in whether they win or lose, just as long as they play the game.
Well, and it just was, it's like, oh, nice job, dick face, but that's what I wrote. Nice job, dick face, Dad. Way to set an example.
Yeah. Well,
and so that's the worst part.
Wait, do you want to know what I wrote?
What?
Larry's dad is a pussy.
Well, but really, like, that's the worst part of those parents, is that's the example you're showing to your kid, that that's how you should react to difficult situations.
Yeah, by being and running away.
And then we get to the end of the game, and there's a scene where Josh
he blows a buzzer beater because he panics with 5 seconds left.
He should have passed the ball.
And he should have passed the ball. He had open passes. The coach gives him a little pep talk about, like, hey, you see that dog there? It's not about, stats or MVPs or anything. That dog just wants to play the game. And then we go into this super long, extended, positive montage about everybody's playing together, playing good, they're winning games. Yeah. Airbud's knocking down shots. And the stupid clown guy sees Airbud on TV.
Oh, this guy. I hate him.
And he goes to get the dog. Yeah, this guy is great because he is awful. You just want to reach to the screen and choke him to death.
Well, so he goes and just shows up at the lady's house, and I'm thinking, how did you figure out where they lived? But whatever.
In a small town like that, I don't think it would have been that hard, especially in the 90s. You gotta remember, there was the white pages. If you knew somebody's name, you could find out their phone number and where they lived.
Well, and here's the thing. As soon as this dude shows up, maybe I'm crazy, but I would have been like, take me to court. You can't take this dog.
Oh, totally.
I don't know you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But she lets him take the dog.
Yeah, she's a nutter.
But also, I could see being kind of intimidated. He just shows up at your house, and he could be a crazy person. But he takes the dog, which is just so confusing because he didn't even want the dog in the first place.
Well, but it got famous, and now it's going to be his pay ticket, his meal ticket. And then Josh yells at the guy, and he runs away. He's just a total mess.
Understandably,
yeah, but he's a total mess. He goes back to the basketball court, leaves an open pudding, which totally would have gotten eaten by a raccoon, but whatever.
Yeah.
He goes to check in and it's still there.
Well, and this is a small scene, but it was really cute. The mom goes out to get the paper, and she's never been
right.
And the paper's there because the dog isn't there, and she had already discovered all the newspapers in the backyard.
Stash of papers,
and that was one of those facial expressions you're talking about, went to her face, and it was really sad.
Yeah, she did a really good that's what I'm saying. That lady did a great job of just using her face to emote the proper things for this movie without having to have some dumb, corny line.
Well, and then the kid decides to go get Buddy back.
Yeah, this kid's a baller.
And he essentially goes to the guy's house because the guy gave his business card to the mom.
To the kid, he gave it to
the kid,
Josh, yeah. And so he goes to his address. He just sees that the dog is tied up in dirty old mud. The guy's talking on the phone about a beer commercial, and he's hammered. This dude is totally wasted.
Yeah. And then there's a chase. Well, before the actual chase, though, this part was like, he gets the chain, breaks it off the thing. The guy's slipping all over the place.
With
and
the
then
water main, yeah.
He gets over the fence with Buddy, but the thing is caught, and the guy grabbed the chain and is yanking it back. I'm like, what are you going to do? Choke the dog?
He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
I know, but that's what was so terrible. But the kid manages to get the leash off Buddy, so they run away. And there's a chase scene, and I'm thinking, all you have to do, kid, go to the police and be like, he tried to kill me. They're not going to give that dog back to that guy.
Yeah, he tried to kill me and my dog.
Yeah, they're not going to give the thing back to that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's driving his clown car, the steering wheel, pieces are falling off the
Pieces are
ball.
falling out of this to me is hilarious. I love this.
Oh, it's all bad.
No, I like it. I think this is hilarious. The pieces are falling off of the stupid truck. The kid's running away with Bud. They jump onto a water taxi. The clown crashes his truck into the water off of a pier, which he would have been immediately arrested for drunk driving for, which was what I hoped ended this movie, and would have been nice if it would have.
Yeah. All right, and then the next part, this is where I was crying.
Yeah, this is pretty sad.
Go on, buddy. You're free now. Go. Go on. Buddy, get.
Took Buddy to a different island or peninsula or part of the area, and he's like, "Get out of here, boy. Somebody else will adopt you. I can't. If I take you, that man will just come to my house and take you back. You gotta go. Get out of here." And he's just basically abusing the dog yet again. He throws the ball so that it gives him some separation. He runs back to the water taxi. The dog tries to follow him across the water with the water taxi. It's very, 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 very sad. It's terrible. And then we just cut to Kelly crying. We'll give her a few minutes here.
Whoa!
We pick up with the big game. It's time for the big game.
Oh, so this is where I realized that this movie was in Washington, because
the Spokane Warriors.
Yes.
And then because this is the most unrealistic part of the entire movie. Just because Larry got benched in one game just for a second and you left, you moved your entire family from Fernfield to Spokane so that he could play basketball somewhere else.
Well, and I'm thinking,
Are you kidding me?
This is before you could work from home, really. So you got a new job. What?
Or I mean, maybe it's a different suburb. Maybe it's a different part. Maybe Fernfield is not Ferndale, even though it would have to be because Spokane is completely
on the opposite side of the state,
300 miles from any seawater, so it really would have to be across the state.
Right.
It is super confusing, super weird, and super funny, but we get Larry and Larry's dad as the total villains at the end of the movie. An extended basketball scene of the dudes playing basketball. There was like a chickenpox outbreak on Josh's team. They were already shorthanded. People are getting injured.
No. There wasn't a chickenpox outbreak.
No, there was.
That was just an analogy the coach used it.
No. They were out people. They were already shorthanded.
Oh, I thought that was just weird coaching analogy.
No. They were already shorthanded.
Oh, okay.
That's why. And then a couple more dudes get injured, and all of a sudden they only have 4 people to play, and you guys are going to do it. You're going to play anyways. And then Air Bud gets into the ring. It's like, Air Bud!
Well, and the coach... And okay, so when I thought the dog was going to play basketball, I thought it was going to be stupid, but it actually was done kind of okay. The coach...
Well, right, but I mean, didn't you think coming into this game that by 30 minutes in, the dog would be playing basketball on the team?
Yeah.
So did I. And that's what made this good, is that the dog only played basketball for like the last 15 minutes.
Well, and, the coach, they go up there, oh, this can't happen. And the coach, he's not wrong. He's a registered member of the team. He travels with the team. He practices with the team.
This is where they get super tropey. There's nothing in the rule books that says the dog can't play. And I have a feeling that we're going to run into this trope again in the movie earlier, but I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
With Don Knotts and like an elephant or a donkey kicking a football game. It may not be a Disney movie, but I think it is.
I don't know.
I think it is. And I think we'll run into it.
Well, and of course the dog's able to steal the ball from people. He's able to do all this stuff. And it wasn't...
And he knocks down buckets. He shoots 100% of his shot. You can't beat somebody who's going to shoot a hundo from the field.
Well, and the good part was, nowadays, if they made this movie, they would have done a ton of CGI with the dog dribbling. And essentially, the dog would have done that. All he's doing is bumping the ball with his nose.
Right. Well, in his mouth. He actually does it with it. If you look closely, it's always with his mouth open.
Right.
Because I thought it would break the dog's nose, but he always goes mouth full open on the ball and knocks it away. And then there's a couple of drool jokes. The referee asks the coach, does he ever dribble? Well, he doesn't dribble, but he drools a lot. And then the next scene is the dog trying to take away the ball from the kid, drooling all over the ball. And then there's a tip-off because they obviously tied for the ball. And the dog barks as the referee throws it up. The kid is so distracted that the dog wins the tip-off.
Yeah. No, and this is a long scene, but
it's super long.
In the midst of this, the Norm, the clown, shows up in the background and blah, blah, blah.
He's menacing and he's a douche.
And it gets to be the last shot, and I thought he was going to pass it to the dog.
That would have been better, honestly. That actually lost a little momentum for me.
But or passed it to the bowl cut kid.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been better, but no, he takes a shot and he makes it. So they win the game. Everybody's celebrating.
He's the hero.
But then the clown, Norm, comes over, give me my dog. And then finally the mom gets some balls and steps up and she says, no.
Huge.
He's like, I have papers, but his papers are all f***ed up because they are wet. And so
because he drove his truck into the Puget Sound.
I'll see you in court. And this part
was so stupid.
It was really stupid.
With the daffy judge, and it basically boils down to, okay, the dog has to choose the person.
Right.
Okay,
but,
this is a huge trope.
Can we also just please, the Norm dude shows up in full clown gear, which that would not help your case in any way.
Never. Not in any situation.
And of course, this part also didn't really make sense because Norm pulls out the newspaper and Buddy starts going for the newspaper.
Well, he's just angry with the newspaper. I actually liked that part.
Okay.
Because he grabs the newspaper from Norm, rips it apart, and then goes over to Josh.
Yeah.
And the clown is arrested for some unknown reason, which is actually pretty hilarious. And the movie's over.
Right, and that's the end.
Yeah, that's it. It's just over.
So, what was your favorite part?
I really liked the drunken car chase with the parts falling out. It was stupid.
Oh my god.
But it was so funny. It was so stupidly funny. And I really liked the coach abuse scene. Because, it was just so awful and did not fit into this movie. But it was awful, which was great.
So that was not a good scene. Like it was.
But
good.
it was good in that it actually made this movie interesting.
Yeah.
Like you don't usually get some dark like that in a Disney movie.
Yeah. So I think actually my favorite part is when he was able to get Buddy out of the bushes with the pudding.
Puds scene.
Yeah. And I don't like the abandonment part, but it was an effective scene. Clearly,
It was very effective.
Because I can't handle it.
It destroyed and broke Kelly. But
yeah.
But yeah, it was clearly. We might still have to do some more editing due to it.
No. It's just when the dog like goes in the water and is whining.
Yeah, it was terrifyingly bad. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. I'd rather kill Snively than do that.
What?
That guy's name is Snively.
Okay, so, but do you remember, this is why. So this same scene in Fox and the Hound when she has to leave the fox.
That to me is different though, because something growing up that needs to be wild.
It's almost even worse because she had the fox when he was a baby.
Right, but the fox needs to be wild. That's why I was like, a dog should not be wild. A dog is a friend, a member of the family.
I know, but it's the same type of, it's almost the same scene.
No,
and it's
no,
terrible.
To me, this is much more terrible than that.
No, this is more terrible than that. But, as far as notable songs, I mean, there was literally, like you said, one song.
There was one song.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. The remake of Splish. If they would have done the original Splish Splash, I was taking a bath, I would have been like, okay, that's fine, because it's a really good song, but they did some weak remake that's not good. Our main character, Josh, the little whiny kid, he was effective enough.
Yeah, he was...
He kind of didn't add or detract anything.
Right.
He was good enough to not be noticeable, which is good.
And really, Buddy was the other main character.
And actually, well, no, Buddy was the main character. Actually, the best thing that Josh did was his depression scenes in the beginning. He really knocked it down.
Yeah.
Like, that was really good. And he should be applauded for doing a really good job of being a truly depressed person. I enjoyed that.
It's kind of crazy, like, how they got the dog to do all that stuff.
Well, clearly it's a well-trained golden retriever. Golden retrievers are one of the most trainable dogs up there with border collies and
right, but just
labs. I mean,
it was pretty cool actually to see all the stuff they got the dog.
It really was. I mean, the dog climbing the lattice to the roof was pretty cool, and it was very clear that the dog was actually climbing the lattice.
Yeah, because it was shaking.
One of the more upsetting scenes is when the dog falls off the lattice. When the lattice gets knocked over.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's a quick scene where the lattice falls over with the dog on it. I'm like, you guys couldn't have nailed that thing down so the dog couldn't have knocked it over?
Well, I think that was supposed to be in the movie.
I don't think it was. I think it was an accidental, blooper. We're going to stick this in the movie. I did not like that at all. And then the villains, you had douchebag coach number 1, who was terrible, Mr. Former military douchebag guy. You had Larry, the little douchebag kid.
Yeah.
And you had Larry's dad, the ultimate.
Ugh. Well, and then of course Norm, who he was in literally the opening scene of the movie.
He was, which was good that they had the other villains in between the Norm scenes.
Yeah, it was.
That's what makes this movie very effective.
Yeah. And he was good though. Like that guy did a good job.
He did a good job. And the Larrys and the coach did a good job. Like they were good at being horrible people. Larry was doing a ton of bullying, and it was perfect.
Yeah. This movie didn't really have a lot of side characters.
Well, you had the mom, the MILF mom.
Yeah.
You had the coach, the good coach.
Arthur Chaney.
And
Tom.
You had Tom Stewart, who was gross. With his
bowl
stocking, his bowl cut, and his stocking of garbage of professional basketball players.
But that was kind of one of the better side gags in this movie. Was I got this from Scottie Pippen's trash, and it's like a peach pit or something.
It was an orange peel.
Orange peel. No, but he had that. I got this from some other.
He had Dennis Rodman's Juicy Fruit.
Yeah. That was one of the better gags.
And then he had some piece of trash from Sean Kemp that he got out of his trash. It's like, oh my god, are you kidding me? That's hilarious.
It was one of the better side gags this movie.
Because I think around this time was when I saw Sam Perkins at the mall, high as...
Wait, you were high or he was high?
He was high.
How do you know he was high?
Kelly, his eyes were blazed red, and here's this 6'10" dude walking around the mall just high out of his mind. I was, wow! I was so amazed, but it was fun. It was fun to see.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah. So, yeah, not a lot of side characters, not a lot of characters in general in this movie.
No.
I mean,
But it was
it
good,
very
though.
No, that's good. It's compact. That's what you have to do with these movies. You can't have this sprawling cast of characters with no development. It doesn't work. The cinematography, pretty good.
And
especially when he kicked down the fence and you saw the mountains and the sound. That was dope.
Well, and for being filmed in 1 month, that's pretty good. They did a good job.
And for showing the dog actually knocking down buckets, like, they did good. This is a well-shot movie. I mean, not gonna lie.
So, what was your biggest surprise or disappointment?
This was 100 times better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, mine is the same exact sentiment. Clearly this movie emotionally impacted me, but whatever. So, if you did have to change, if you were going to remake this movie, what would you change about it?
There's not what I would do is I would cut some of the fat from the beginning and add a little more team building throughout the movie where it focuses a little bit more on dude and his friends.
Right.
Like that's what I would do. I would knock that out, and I would give a little bit deeper feeling to him becoming a part of the team and that becoming a team, because I thought that angle was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. So if I was going to remake this movie, the court scene at the end, I wouldn't have had them do, let the dog decide.
No, I thought let the dog decide was good. No, that's fine.
It's fine, but I would have done something where, Karen mom from the beginning comes in. She's like, Your Honor, I want to make a testimony. Blah, 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 blah. And she testifies to maybe just adding that in. I think that would have, I don't know.
I can't sign off Karen ever winning, but that's fine.
But no, the end court scene was a little,
It was bad, but it didn't. It honestly didn't move the needle for me one way or the other.
I just almost wish they would have done some sort of let the dog testify.
Yeah.
Oh, woof, woof.
Which he really was doing in the court. He was like, woo, 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 woo.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
This movie was way better than it ever had any intention of being.
Right, and I'm very confused because I've seen this movie before.
I have not seen this movie
but
before.
I saw it clearly when it came to video. It was on Disney Channel or something, because I just remembered being very upset and not ever wanting to watch it again. Clearly, that's why.
And this movie was a big moneymaker.
Oh, but no. Sir. So, actually, it was considered a flop.
It was considered a flop.
Which is crazy. They made their money back plus some in the first weekend.
Right, and they made 3 more movies.
But those are all straight to video. But
no, second one came out in theaters. The other ones were straight to... No, that's not what I saw. But okay. I saw only the first 2 came out in theaters.
What I saw was the rest were scrapped to home to video after the first movie flopped. So I don't know. We'll have to investigate that.
We'll investigate that later, or y'all can just tell us that we're stupid, which is fine. I don't care.
But it only had a $3 million budget.
Right. Where's the budget in this movie? There's no special effects. There's no real actors.
Right. But cumulatively, it's made $23 million.
Right, which is a home run, of course.
But it was considered a flop. That's what I read. So
yeah, I mean, I don't understand that, because everybody knows this movie. We both thought we knew this movie. Not really a flop. Maybe a flop, but but if you watch it, you're probably gonna like it.
This movie hit me like an emotional, like somebody took a bar of soap and put it in a sock and hit me with it.
Although I will give you this caveat: if you're not a dog person, you're gonna probably not like
No,
scary at all.
you really have to be a dog person, or at least an animal person.
If you're not a dog or an animal person, go f yourself.
But yeah, no, I wasn't expecting to have that reaction at all.
So what did you rate this movie, Kelly?
So initially going in, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a 30%er. But I rated this movie a 75%.
Ooh.
I really liked it. It's a good movie.
Spice, heat.
What?
Heat. Okay, so I give this movie 72%, so we're in the same ball
What?
field
That's
again.
not spicy.
Well, it's gonna be Spice. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score
So
is?
I actually, based on them saying it was a flop, don't think it got a very high rating. I'm going to say 57%.
Not even. 45 with critics, 38 with the people. Who the is watching this movie?
What the hell? I don't understand it. Okay, how do you not feel anything when the dog is jumping off the dog? Oh, don't leave me! Like
that, but the depression part at the beginning. This is a good movie. This is a good movie. How are you gonna watch this movie soup to nuts and be like, I didn't like it? This movie is not exactly, but this movie is what it says it's gonna be and more.
Well, but it's the basketball part wasn't overdone, and it really was actually another runner-up for favorite scene was that stupid little heart-to-heart the coach had with him about basketball.
That was actually the most underrated part of this movie that we didn't really talk about, and we won't, is how amazing the coach was. The second coach.
Right.
That guy really made the movie 20 times better.
Yeah, no, this didn't... So I think from the initial what I thought and from the trailer, it's essentially a straight to Disney Channel original movie, cheesy, blah, blah, blah. But a movie has a lot of heart in it.
Right, you think it's going to be just all the dog playing basketball, and it's barely the dog playing basketball.
But even that part is good. It's not cheesy.
No, it's good. It's good. But if you were going to sit there and give me 45 minutes of that dog playing basketball, I would have been pissed.
Well, yeah.
And that's what I was expecting, and that's not what I got.
No, and so it just was that's confusing to me.
Yeah. So now it's time for Kelly's favorite part of the show.
On Emperor's New Groove, like Kronk.
So we got number 215.
Whoa, you did that so fast. I wasn't ready. You didn't even give me time to soak it in. You just, thrusted it.
I did it. Although, I'm questioning this. So, it's 1997, Rocket Man.
That is a real movie.
Oh, it is. It's a Disney movie.
Pretty...
To me, it seems like it would be a Touchstone movie. Oh my god. It's the movie right after Air Bud. How random is that? Air Bud was 214.
So, I'll just double check that it's not Touchdown.
Certainly sounds like one.
Because it's the one with that guy. I've seen it, I think.
Rocket Man.
It was produced by Walt Disney Pictures.
Okay. So, next week...
Yeah, Disney's Rocket Man. Yeah.
We'll be watching, from 1997, Rocket Man.
So, what do you think it's about, David?
I'm going to say about a guy that's like Iron Man in the suit, but not Iron Man, because I vaguely remember something about this.
So, I don't know if I've seen this. I just remember he's essentially an astronaut that's not really supposed to be an astronaut or something.
Oh.
But there's some part where he's in space and he's farting into his suit.
Oh, so are we getting into another Knight in King Arthur's Court kind of thing?
You mean like Flying Oddball?
Yeah, Flying Oddball.
I think so, but I think it's going to be more wackadoodle, like Inspector Gadget was wackadoodle.
Interesting. This could be pretty good, or it could be really...
I don't know that I've actually seen the whole movie. I just remember the farting in the spacesuit part. That's it. Because he's connected to like another person, and he's farting.
Right.
That's all I remember.
Right. Well, part humor always goes well on this program. So yeah, next week we'll be watching Rocket Man, and we will continue our streak of movies that y'all don't really want to hear about, which is interesting.
Hey, but okay. We didn't think we were gonna like this, and it was great.
Well, right, but I mean, if you're gonna listen to one of these, you're gonna look at it, Air Bud, ugh, Rocket Man, ugh.
I don't know. Rocket Man could be somebody's favorite movie.
It could be somebody's favorite movie. Good for them. Maybe it'll be mine. I doubt it. But good for me either way. If you would like to follow us on social media, at the Disney Movies with the Hearts on Facebook and Instagram, or send us an email, which is very nice, at thedisneymovies@gmail.com.
Like, subscribe, share. Please share with your friends. We always like to see the numbers grow. It's good. It makes us feel good to know that there's somebody listening out there.
Yeah. We love all of you who listen and who are faithful and enjoy and interact with us.
And if you have any opinions about any of these movies, we would really like to hear them.
Yeah. It's good to have a nice open debate. In the meantime, this has been At the Disney Movies with the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David.
Bye! Sound check. Dun 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 dun.
Check the dog. Check the loop. Check the Kelly.
Woo woo! It's so upsetting.
It was very bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was very bad. Like, that was not a good part of this show at all. You're very attached to your animals. I get it. So am I. But it's because neither one of us would ever abandon a pet.
No, never.
You can be emotional about Air Bud.
But yeah, this is the part I was crying at during the movie.
Yeah, and still.
Okay, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, one sec. Seriously, what is wrong with me?